Hello, I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. It's an honor to have Julie Storm back on the show with me, chatting about real estate.
Always a pleasure to be here, Stephen. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being on the show. So the first thing I want to talk about is the freeze going on in the northern part of York County. It's been in the paper, and a lot of people are posting it on Facebook, and a lot of it's online. And so just kind of wanted to give my viewers who look to me for real estate advice on what's going on. And that's really nothing's going on. It's not going to cause a drastic increase in current homes. There's not a shortage of houses. Every builder that has pulled a permit, and there are 3 to 5 years logged already that's been pulled, every neighborhood being developed will continue to be developed. There are neighborhoods that have not even, the roads are not cut, that are approved. So it's just future permits that haven't been pulled. And it looks like there's enough permits pulled for the next 3 to 5 years. The freeze is only to 2017, which is next year, and it's just restricting rezoning of property between the Catawba River and North Carolina, excluding the city limits of Fort Mill and Tunkhannock.
Oh, okay.
So it's just what's in the county, and it's anything that's not currently zoned residential. It's not restricting people from building on residential property. It's just land that has not been rezoned residential, probably farmland. It's restricting the rezoning of that until they figure out what's going on with the roads over there. And the roads are a problem.
Yes, I live over there, I know.
Absolutely. And so until they figure that out, you know, the biggest appeal to the Fort Mill market is it's a proximity to Charlotte. Right. But if it takes you an hour to get on the interstate, you might as well drive to Chester.
And I think too, part of the appeal with Fort Mill was still it was a small, you know, it had the small town appeal, and people were moving there to kind of have that and not be like a Lake Norman situation where it's just you know, bumper to bumper.
So kudos to the council people who are looking ahead and saying we have huge traffic problems, and until we solve the traffic problems, we're not going to allow more rezoning in the county, not the city limits of Fort Mill and Tunkhannock, which is where a lot of the residential property is. So moving on from that, and as that changes, we'll keep people updated. I wanted to give, because 48% of buyers in my viewing market are first-time home buyers. Wow. And so I wanted to give people just some things to work on 12 months out before you buy the first house, and maybe just the top 10 things. And the first thing is 12 months out before you think you're ready to buy your first home, check your FICO score, which is your credit score. You can get that done for free. You can contact one of our lenders and they'll do it for free, and just see where your FICO score is. If it's not high enough to get a loan, which really needs to be in the 600 or higher range, you've got time to get it there. And a good lender can say, these are the things you should pay off, these are the things that you shouldn't, and get your FICO score up. A year out gives you time to improve that FICO score. That will A, allow you to get the loan, and B, it'll allow you to get that very cheap rate that you see advertised.
Right.
Number 2 is, go ahead and talk to a lender and find out what you can afford. Nothing's worse than going online and looking at $300,000 homes for 9 months, and then you get ready to buy and find out you can afford a $150,000 house. So, you know, don't go out and drive Rolls Royces if what you need is a good Buick. So go ahead and talk to a lender and find out your price range. And then too, you're far enough out that if you need to get an extra job or something and take that up, you could. The third thing is start saving. The best loans and those best rates require a down payment. That down payment can be as little as 3.5% or 5%. You may have a seller that will not pay your closing costs, which can be another 3 to 5%. So in a year out, you've got time to save that money. There are some loan programs that require less. There's some sellers that'll pay closing costs, but in this hot market, that may not be the home you want. So start your savings plan. Also, about 9 months out, go ahead and get your list of what's important to you in a home. And one of the most important things is location. You can see a home advertised away 45 minutes to an hour and a half from work, and you're going to be miserable.
Right.
People tend to want to be near work. They want to be near schools. They want to be near convenient things like grocery stores and drug stores. And so go ahead and get that list, and also the number of bedrooms, the number of baths. Do you need a formal dining room? Do you need a backyard? Do you need that backyard flat? Do you need a fence in that backyard? And get that list going together. About 6 months out, go ahead and start collecting all the things the lender's going to need. And they'll give you that list, but they need your tax returns. They need your W-2s from your employment. They need your bank statements. And we all start running around looking for those right the day they ask for them, and sometimes you can't put your hands on them.
Right.
And so start collecting those about 6 months out. The next thing to do as you get near 3 months out, make sure that you go ahead and hire a buyer's agent. And we have great buyer's agents here on my team that are paid by the seller, not by the buyer, that can represent the buyer out there in that marketplace. And so go ahead and get that buyer's agent, and then go ahead and contact that lender and ask for a pre-approval letter, okay? Then about 3 months out, start your house hunt. Anything you look at before 3 months out is probably gonna be sold before you get ready to buy anyway. So about 3 months out, you can start the house hunt and start looking for the house that you may want to buy, because if you start looking, you're going to find one probably, and those sellers may wait 30, 60 days for you to buy their home, but they're not going to wait 6 months. And nothing's worse than looking too early and not being able to go ahead and buy. The one key here in this whole entire process is making sure that all decision makers, so assemble your decision makers. If grandma, if mom, dad, sister, brother, wife, significant other, kids, if any of them have a say-so in the home you buy, make sure they start the house hunt with you. Because if you look at 15 homes and you get down to that one you want, and that's the one you take everybody to, they're not going to understand what took you to that. They need to see all 15. So take every decision maker with you on every house hunt and assemble those people. If they're giving you a down payment, if they're co-signing, they probably want to see the home they're buying. If you look to them for wisdom in these first-time home buyers, usually younger buyers, then if you're looking for them for wisdom, then make sure they go on all the house hunts. And the final thing is, when you're lining up that closing, look and go ahead and give notice on your lease. Find out when your lease is up. Some apartment complexes just will not let you out of a lease. You've got to pay for the whole 12 months. So go ahead and start looking and give a notice at your apartment complex or wherever you're currently living, since it's a first-time home, you're probably renting. So go ahead and give notice so when you do move out, they don't keep your deposit and they don't hold you to the rent for a long period of time. If there's any repairs you need to go ahead and do, if you've done painting, anything in that rental property, you need to get it back to the state that you moved in it, this is the time to do that. And so those are just some tips for our first-time home buyers, currently making up almost 50% of the buyers in the market. And we were just talking about this before we went on air. Interest rates are at 3.5%.
Wow.
And I bought my first home at 12.5.
Yeah, I think mine was around 16.
Yeah, and people really don't know. My first home, Julie, in 1988 was $65,000, and the payment was almost $1,500 a month.
Right.
$1,500 a month now buys you a $300,000 home.
Right. Yeah, it definitely has changed.
Absolutely. As everything else has gone up, the cost of owning a home has dropped, and it's solely due to interest rates being at 3. And you can lock that in for 30 years. So no matter what interest rates do, you're locked in at that 3.5, 3.6, which is the going rate today, and you got it forever. So what a great opportunity that is.
Well, and it's so exciting for a first-time homeowner to get that first house and to get started on that path of
absolutely. Home ownership and wealth building. So
that's one good thing about America. We've got a great plan with that.
If you got any questions about buying your first home, we've got great agents here at the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Group. Give us a call at 803-985-1240. Julie, thanks for being on today's show. Please stay tuned. We've got beautiful homes for sale in your area. We'll be right back. I hope you've enjoyed watching the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. If you're interested in advertising your business on the program, please give us a call at 803-326-2777. Join us next week for more discussions on real estate topics and help in finding your perfect home. Thanks for watching.